What if your life was not primarily about what you could get, but what you could give? What if your time, your abilities, your comfort, your future were not things to protect, but things to pour out for something greater than yourself? That is the kind of life we see in Philippians. Philippians is a letter about joy, but not the shallow joy that comes when everything goes our way. Paul writes this letter from prison. He is suffering, his future is uncertain, and yet he says, "For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain." That is the heartbeat of the book of Philippians. Paul's life no longer belongs to Paul. His comfort, his reputation, even his own life are no longer his highest priority. Christ is. And later, Paul even says, "Even if I am being poured out like a drink offering on a sacrifice, and service coming from your faith, I am glad and rejoice with all of you." Notice that picture. Poured out. Paul doesn't see his life as something to carefully preserve. He sees it as something to offer, something to spend, something to pour out for Christ. And we see that same spirit in Timothy. Paul says, "I have no one else like him who will show genuine concern for your welfare." Timothy wasn't chasing his own interest. He was seeking the interest of Christ. He was willing to serve, to go, to care, and to spend himself for others. And then we meet Epaphroditus. He was a brother, a fellow worker, a fellow soldier, and a messenger sent to serve Paul. He became so sick that he nearly died, and Paul said he risked his life for the work of Christ. 3 men, Paul, Timothy, Epaphroditus, different roles, different circumstances, but the same heartbeat. Christ is worth giving yourself for. And then the Philippians points us to the greatest example of all, Jesus. Paul tells us, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. Jesus did not cling to his rights. He humbled himself. He became a servant. He obeyed all the way to death, even death on the cross. Jesus poured himself out for us, and because he poured himself out for us, we can pour ourselves out for him. That is the Christian life Philippians give us. Not what can I get, but what can I give. Not simply believing the gospel, but sharing in its mission.